Well, hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News, your twice-weekly dose of the finest two-way propaganda. Gun rights are human rights. If you disagree with that statement, you are going to be especially upset by this episode. Don't say I didn't warn you. The U.S. Virgin Islands is trying to pass an assault weapons ban, which prohibits standard capacity magazines and public carry, and even includes a $1,000 registration fee. That's not fooling anybody. It is an obvious attempt to disarm the poors. Poll tax vibes.
It fooled me, we can't get fooled again.
The problem is, U.S. territories exist in a sort of purgatory where they don't pay federal taxes, but are subject to federal criminal law. And the Bill of Rights only kinda sort of protects them from government abuse. See, in 1901, a guy named Bidwell sued the U.S. government over a tariff on goods from Puerto Rico and lost. The court decided that only fundamental rights were protected. Until recently, the second has been treated as a second-class right, but as Justice Thomas famously quipped in Bruin, it is absolutely not. So, if someone were to challenge this law, there's a decent chance it could be struck down, but it's far from a sure shot. Now, I don't know much about local politics, so I don't know if it will pass, but I can say it's pretty unethical for the Virgin Islands Police Department Assistant Commissioner to push for more laws to enforce. Sean Santos conflated the semi-auto firearms that would be banned with fully automagical military firearms. He, didn't get around to mentioning how those are already restricted under the NFA, and just like local police in the States, he can arrest perpetrators and hand them over to the feds. But the best part was when he said AKs are capable of firing 600 rounds from 300 meters. Whatever that means. But hey, it would be impossible for us to produce quality two-way propaganda without sponsors. So let's pay some bills. Today's video is sponsored by EOTech.
The Voodoo 3 to 9 by 32 scope. This second focal plane scope is only 6.8 inches long and is fog, water, and shock resistant. Compact, lightweight, and ideal for short to mid-range shooting. To minimize the overall length, a machine interface will adapt to the included EOTech mount or any aftermarket mini ACOG mounts. The Voodoo 3 to 9 by 32 scope is loaded with innovation, precision, and functionality to make that critical shot.
Well, it appears the Trump regime managed to find a gun control policy even the NRA opposes. Late last week, the DOJ floated an idea to ban transgender people from owning firearms, based on the notion that trans people are more dangerous than society at large, or more to the point, the theory is that trans people are more likely to do a mass shooty shoot. Now, if you take legacy media sources at face value, there's no merit to this at all. Trans people account for less than 0.1% of this type of incident, while they account for up to 2% of the population, depending on who and how you ask. But the overwhelming majority of mass pew-pews are gang-related. If we focus on only the type of incident people think of when you say the lone wolf ideological outburst, it turns out trans people have indeed accounted for a disproportionate number of recent events. But I don't have to explain why it is unjust to weaponize group statistics as a justification for stripping rights from individuals who have done nothing wrong, do I? Black people represent about 14% of the US population, yet they account for about 60% of homicides. Too uncomfortable? Fine. I am a white man. The majority of grape and SA perpetrators are white men. I am a Christian. The majority of child abuse and DV perpetrators claim to follow the carpenter from Galilee. I am straight. No, seriously, I am. Virtually all violent crime is committed by a heterosexual man. And I am a veteran. As such, I am statistically more likely to suffer from PTSD, depression, or substance abuse. And the control freaks have been trying to use veterans' health records to violate our rights to bear arms for years, despite peer-reviewed evidence that mental health to gun record reporting creates a chilling effect on willingness to seek treatment. I know the whole concept of transgender may creep you out. You may believe it is sinful. I won't argue that. But we don't ban adulterers from buying guns or even drunkards. Here in America, we don't violate someone's rights until they have violated the rights of someone else. Or at least that's how it's supposed to work. I think I have made a pretty compelling case, but if you still think it's a good idea to violate the rights of innocent individuals based on the group they belong to, I want you to tell me what it is that makes you think the next administration won't pick a class to which you belong to put bans on. Another age-based infringement bit the dust in Delaware just now. We've been racking up wins left and right for cases where the state attempts to violate the rights of adults under 21, and Delaware just speed ran their laws. Their shiny new law was just passed in July. It prohibited adults under 21 from buying a gun and insultingly required adult supervision for hunters under 21. So, great news for Delaware residents, but unfortunately for the rest of us, the ruling was in a Delaware Superior Court, meaning it cannot act as precedent in any other state. But the judge did rule based on the right to bear arms protected by the state constitution, not just some procedural rule. At almost the same time, the D.C. Court of Appeals upheld the federal age limit on buying handguns while still acknowledging that adults under 21 are part of the people in the context of the right of the people to keep and bear arms. Back in January, the Fifth Circuit ruled the same law unconstitutional, and in June, the Fourth Circuit upheld it. That, my friends, is a circuit court split, which more or less forces the Supremes to take this issue up, and I've been saying for some time that all adulting should be the same age. You just can't convince me a man is mature enough to kill foreigners for Uncle Sam, but can't carry a handgun when he's on leave in his hometown. Am I right? Before I give you that moment of zen I know you've been waiting for, I wanted to let you know we have completely redesigned the forum. Now, I'm not allowed to tell you the URL where ARFCOM lives because the tube of yous has no limit to their contempt for you, but it's easy to find if you just type ARFCOM into a search engine. I think you'll like the new, cleaner look, and we have added quite a few features as well. If you have never visited ARFCOM before, well, it's both the best and worst gun-related site on the internet. If you know, you know. You don't need a paid account to read or post, but it occurred to me the other day that we don't use a crowdfunding site like most other channels, and rather than give a cut to a potentially anti-gun company like Patreon, if you think what we're doing is good for the country and you want to flip us a few quatloos to help us keep doing it, the absolute best way to donate to us is to buy a team membership, which gives you access to exclusive areas anyway. But here I am going on about us when you wanted that moment of zen. Hello, friend. Do you like pews and pew-related things? Would you like to help us keep delivering you pure uncut American pew propaganda at the low, low price of $3.99? We literally couldn't pay the bills without our sponsors, so do us a solid and get yourself something nice from them. You deserve it. I love you.